Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another special episode. Not our usual weekly recap, but a lot of exciting things going on this week in the world of WWE. More explicitly with what we're talking about, TNA, NXT. So we're going to be referencing another promotion, but I would argue probably not so much a rival promotion at this point. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting with what we're seeing going on this week. So we wanted to come sit and chat and see where we can go with this. I know we've talked about this in the past before. Are any of you guys subscribe to TNA or watch them?
I haven't. I keep up with them. Haven't really sat down and watched like TNA in a couple years, but like I said, I keep up with them. I watch the highlights, all that stuff.
I watched Impact last night on Access TV, and I watched it 3 weeks ago, because I missed the episode last week. So it all depends on the week for me. I'm a vague watcher of it.
I think WWE will want to watch it more because the rumors say there's going to be more involvement with not just TNA on the WWE side, but WWE stars on upcoming TNA pay-per-views. So
I was just about to say that. I was like, I'm more interested now to watch it than I have been in a long time since Tuesday.
I've been getting back in because Broken Matt's over there. Dolph Ziggler's over there. We'll talk about more of this in just a second. Mustafa Ali is over there. Like a lot of really good talent. I actually have their roster that we'll look at here in just a minute. But for those who may not be aware, we'll kind of walk you through the history just so we can get up to date before we talk about anything. Obviously, many of you watch NXT as well and saw Thick Mama Pump make her debut on NXT, Jordan Grace. For those who don't know, that is not an online nickname. That is her name. She has merch on her website that goes by that name. So she made her, TV debut because we saw her in the Rumble last year, and not the first time we've seen this happen. Mickie James a few years ago, 2022, in at 20 minutes with an elimination. Jordan Grace, 2024, 19 minutes, no eliminations. When that happened, and from Mickie to Jordan being in the Rumble, did you guys have any thoughts that might be the seeds of something moving forward? I mean, 2024 was the Triple H era, so now more than ever, something could have come of that.
When I saw Mickie James in the Rumble 2 years ago, I thought that at that point they would start doing a little more, but it kind of that was a one and done thing.
Yeah.
But right around WrestleMania was where there was, and in December last year when Dixie Carter was actually backstage at Raw. Was it Raw? I can't remember if it was Raw or SmackDown, but she was backstage, and I kind of thought there was going to be some more, TNA interaction. Didn't realize it was going to evolve into like a full-fledged announced partnership between the two companies. Because I think Dixie needs funding to keep them afloat. So I think WWE's helping that way with the partnership. And I expected something. I did expect more at the Rumble. I wanted to see Moose come out in the men's Rumble.
Yeah, I was in the back of my mind. I thought that was going to be the case. Yeah.
Every time someone's music hit, I was like, "Is this going to be Moose?" And then it wasn't. I was like, "Shit."
Yep.
I wonder if we'll see Mickie James back with Nick Aldis being the manager over at SmackDown too.
I will never complain about Mickie James being on my TV.
Nope. And yeah, I thought about that too, Michael. When Nick Aldis came over and the partnership started. They're married, obviously. We all know that. So I was wondering when we would see Mickie James.
Yeah, it does make you wonder. But now, more so now than ever, Thick Mama Pump showing up and is the challenger for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground on June 9th. Obviously, she's not going to win it, but still, I mean, back in the Vince era, this was unheard of. I mean, WWE did stuff with OVW and Evolve, but not to this level. I mean, Vince was historically against things like this. So
he allowed Daniel I was still surprised. What was it, like 13 years ago or whenever? I can't remember the year. But when he let Daniel Bryan go compete in the IWGP over in Japan. So, I mean, that was like the only thing I ever saw out of that. And I was like, crap. So now I'm wondering, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, because there was, I think, a small rumor months ago that TNA was going to get involved or sucked into NXT.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah.
With the partnership and all that stuff. And I'm wondering if this is the groundwork for that to happen.
Or also potentially WWE, the rumors about there being an established third brand. I mean, TNA could be that.
Yep.
And then they could potentially share NXT as developmental for both of them, or whatever they want to do, or float some of the lesser known people from TNA over to NXT. And I mean, it's a lot. I mean, and it's not unheard of. I mean, a good example is look at AEW and Ring of Honor. I mean, they coexist very well. They blend their champions back and forth. Obviously, a lot of belts, but it can work. AEW with New Japan. I mean, of course, they're a lot better at doing these cross promotional things, but I think Triple H is very open to it now. I mean, this seems like the opening of the disallowed entrance. So,
yep.
AEW also has one with the Lucha Libre one too, correct? It's called C something.
CMLL.
Yeah, CMLL. Yeah.
Yep.
Because the AAA tag team, I think, is somebody's a tag team, or the tag team's been on there or something. There's something they do with it. Yeah.
There's a lot that can happen now with this partnership, now that we're seeing it come to fruition, and people actually crossing over. There's a lot I want to see, and I can't wait to see if they ever do it, because we saw him a couple years ago, Eric Young come back to NXT.
Yep.
That's one of mine.
Even last night they promoted NXT and her appearance on there on Impact last night. So it's not like it's just like an independent thing. And another thing I think too is, so remember when Matt Hardy showed up at Rebellion, I believe it was, and he said he's not signed to TNA. Ethan Page also said the same thing, that he's not signed to WWE. I wonder if both of those guys are going to be cross guys, seeing they both said the same things after their debuts.
After Ethan Page showed up on NXT, I went to his social media, and he's still booked for a butt ton of indie gigs. So yeah,
which for me is weird, because we've never seen that in WWE before. Once, like with Eric Rowan, once he's re-signed with WWE, what was it, like a month and a half ago? All of his future indie gigs done.
They got canceled. Yeah, it was done.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if now that wrestler salaries are starting to come out, like main roster wrestlers, they said, what was it, yesterday or today? Main roster wrestler minimum now is $350,000.
Yeah.
And with NXT making less, I wonder if they're going to start allowing some of them to do some indie shows here and there, or cross over to TNA to make some extra money.
Yeah, as they should. I mean,
because they're making obviously less than the main roster guys.
Yeah. For those who may not be aware, I did want to just do a really quick recap on what TNA is. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other night, and he was like, I've only ever watched WCW and WWE's. Like, I've heard of AEW. I don't know what TNA is. So there are some people out there who may not be aware, but just a really quick recap. They came about after the WCW buyout. I think that was in 01. TNA, I think, was in 02. Jeff Jarrett, Slapnuts, and Jerry Jarrett, originally the founders. Vince Russo was involved for a little while. And then over the years, of course, a wide array of names. It was like TNA, and then Impact, and then TNA or Global Force, and then back to TNA. And it's had a lot of different names over the years, currently owned by Anthem. And one of the things, you guys may remember this, one of the reasons that a lot of people started suspecting a TNA crossover as well is because Endeavor Streaming is the host, I believe, of TNA Plus.
Yep. Which
is part of Ari's TKO, which owns WWE. So something in the mix there. But their current champions, some of them may look familiar. You see Brian Myers there, face the facts. Kurt Hawkins, Mustafa Ali is their X Division champion. And then I just pulled some names off their roster, but all ex-WWE people there. Rich Swann, I used to really like when he was in on 205 Live, because I liked his theme song a lot. Santino, I think, is something on screen. I can't remember.
He's been like the manager recently.
Yeah, he's been like the authority figure.
Yeah.
And for all the WWE marks out there, Santino is not really Italian, does not really have a snake for a hand.
Yeah.
If you ever watch TNA, he does have an American accent. Don't get confused.
And at the upcoming pay-per-view, I don't know if it's against all odds or if it's Slammiversary, but Matt Hardy is facing Moose.
Yep.
I think it's the next one. And he is broken again, so back to the good Matt Hardy.
And Dirty Dango. I wonder if now that TNA's like partnered with WWE, if they're going to allow wrestlers that get released by WWE, and let's say they want to go to TNA, if they're going to be allowed to keep that same name, the same.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
because I'm looking at like Fandango, Nick Nemeth, Matt Cardona. You know, they all had other personas. Santino,
Matthew Raywalt, of course, was Aiden English.
Yep, that they couldn't use going to another company. I wonder if that's going to be something they work out.
Top Dollar also, he goes by AJ Francis over in TNA.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there was a few. I was scrolling through and I was trying to recognize everybody, and I think oh god, Austin Aries, I think he was there for a minute recently.
Tommy Dreamer was too, I believe.
Tommy Dreamer is still listed there as well. He was on the roster listing as well. But a lot of people usually, whenever people leave, for the past few years, it's been okay. Well, we'll see them over in AEW because the memes always come out like as soon as someone's released, it's blah 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 is all elite. But for the longest time, it was when somebody left WWE, they went to TNA, and one of the reasons that I would suggest subscribing to TNA's program, their membership library, is to get their tape library, because for a long time TNA was on fire. I mean, Kurt Angle in TNA, I would argue, is better than WWE Kurt Angle. So,
100%. It's the house that AJ Styles built. Go back if you've never watched TNA and you like AJ Styles, go back to where he started in 2002 with TNA.
Even 2010, I remember watching as a kid. They were on fire then when Hulk Hogan was there. They had a group with Abyss. Jeff Hardy was there.
But go back, and I don't know if you guys watched back then, but like 03, 04, when R-Truth was Ron Killings, and he was the NWA TNA champion for a while. He was their first African American champion, and that's where he after he was K-Quick in WWF, and he went there. That's where some of the guys ended up, developing who they are now in WWE.
I mean, because AJ Styles, if you look at, Air Raid and WCW, that's not AJ Styles. The AJ Styles we got in WWE is who he is because of that development in TNA. Bobby Roode as well with Beer Money. I mean,
Yep. I wish they would have brought that to WWE. There was rumors that they signed James Storm years ago. Right before the pandemic, they signed him, or they were getting ready to, because they were going to bring them together. But then the pandemic happened and it fell apart. So I wish they would do something with that, because Bobby Roode's cleared to wrestle again.
I know. I love him so much. I got married back in 2019, and my entrance music was actually Bobby Roode's entrance theme.
That's the best.
That was a fun one to talk her into. But there's stars that are already on board. I mean, Drew McIntyre, of course, there he is with the championship. New Day, they want to come for the tag team titles and to apparently make a song with Joe Hendry, who, of course, if you ask many WWE fans, that's who we would like to see come over.
Yes. I want to hear that song hit one time.
Look on Twitter, social media, or whatever. There's a lot of funny little memes going around with Joe Hendry and CM Punk, and a lot of really cute little videos.
I would like to see Booker T go back to TNA for like one more match where he commentates while he wrestles. Because I was watching the match the other day where he was commentating like people running into the ring, and he was beating up Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, and a few other people, and he has the mic and he's commentating his own match, and it was great.
Oh my gosh.
There were so many things that they did, those little things that like made you that you remember, and so it was they were doing what they had to do back then.
Yep. That's what I was saying. If you watch the tape library, I mean, for WWE fans who aren't familiar with TNA, if you enjoyed what little of broken or woken Matt Hardy you got to see in WWE, go watch that whole run in TNA with Jeff and Vanguard one. And I mean, just that whole run is some of the most interesting things I've seen in wrestling and probably the past 20 years easily. Just tremendously entertaining.
There was a lot that came out of wrestling in general because of TNA. We saw like the rise and fall of Jeff Hardy, you know, where he went from being the champion, having his own title made, and being like the Antichrist and all that stuff, and being with his brother, to his drug addiction, drug problem, where that match with Sting, where he, you know, just fell apart. He came to the ring basically high. And, you know, that was the turning point for him in some people's minds.
Yep.
So there was a lot. I just definitely suggest people go back and watch some of their old stuff.
Of course, not all good. No. You guys can say you can weigh in on your thoughts. You'll probably know what I'm going to ask, but the 6-sided ring.
That was, even a lot of wrestlers hated that because they said it didn't give like the regular 4-sided rings. So when they would like take bumps and stuff, it hurt a lot more.
Yep.
And it was, the only thing that came out of the 6-sided ring, in my opinion, was the those X Division matches.
Yeah.
The Destination X, where they had the cross over the ring with the belt hanging, and those matches were amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you liked the old school cruiserweight matches and stuff like that in WCW and somewhat in WWE, I mean, the X Division is about the closest modern thing we've had to that feel that you got from those matches. And I don't think they have. Isn't that no? Mustafa Ali's the champion of that now. Okay, I was trying to. I was like, is that, and the Impact. There's still a digital media champion. I don't remember if that was on their website or not.
It's the
there it is, Laredo Kid.
Laredo Kid, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so so pretty similar. A main title, a women's title, and then a couple of mid-card titles, and then tag titles. And knockouts, of course, is what they refer to their women as. So,
TNA
of which Jordan Grace is definitely a good representation of that. I mean, pound for pound, if it was not a predictable match, I mean, I could see her just obliterating Raquel, but I just don't see them doing that. So probably not going to happen.
I see it ending in a disqualification or some kind of, non-clear ending.
Yep.
Because I don't think they want to make either one of their stars look weak.
Exactly. I mean, I could see like Tatum Paxley interfering or something.
Yep.
So, I mean, it could be a different option.
But it'll give people that, bringing over TNA stars, or even people getting interested in TNA now, it'll give them a chance to see stars like Mustafa Ali, who a lot of people thought should have had a better run in WWE. You get to see them in that, those main event spots, those bigger shows. So, I mean, there is that plus side there too. I like that option for some fans that never really watch anything else.
And if they have more of a loose affiliation, I mean, there's a lot of talent in WWE that isn't being used much that could float to TNA and be used there, build up there, come back to WWE bigger, kind of like happened in the past, but on a more official like capacity.
Ricochet and Mustafa, feud. That would be amazing.
And we could even do the War Games thing that we talked about with the two different brands too.
Yep. I know that's what I've been curious about is if this crossover is going to be mostly focused around NXT talent or if they're going to expand it to WWE. I don't know, because it was main roster before, but now it's obviously NXT. So at the next pay-per-view, against all odds, I mean, someone from NXT maybe shows up. Maybe Raquel shows back up and has a match or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some of the bigger talent. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing like Trick Williams against Moose. I think would be a cool match.
I would lean a lot. And one match I've wanted to see for a long time is KO versus Sami Callihan.
Yeah.
Or KO versus Eddie Edwards too. That would be a good match.
Obafemi versus Moose would be cool.
Yep. Sami
You could
Zayn
even-
versus Eric Young.
You could even do Laredo Kid versus Dragon Lee.
I was
just about to say-
thinking that when you guys brought up the digital champion.
Yep, I was just about to say that.
Yep.
Well, while we're on that digital champion thing, one thing I wanted to point out too about the Speed Championship, you notice they list Ricochet as a 2-time Speed champion now. So every time they win the bracket, it's just gonna count as a championship, which I find really weird. And then
If they're doing this weekly, he's going to beat R-Truth for record.
Yep.
Yeah. And that Elon Musk, when they signed the deal, he made that belt exclusive to the Speed, like exclusive Speed title. So that's why they're not wearing it on the other brands, I guess.
I mean, speaking of R-Truth, actually, with his background and TNA and all that, I mean, I think that would be just a hilarious one to show up at the TNA pay-per-view, like he got lost or something.
Yes. So yes, that would be friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just excited with all like looking at their roster minus Guido because he's about like 3 seconds from being in a grave. He's old as dirt. Frankie Kazarian, someone I always thought should have been in WWE.
Yeah. Let me see.
So finally getting to see some of those names, like just thinking about who they could feud with. Like Frankie Kazarian, to me, if you look at his picture on the website, kind of looks like Randy Orton. Like a Dollar Tree Randy Orton. I think they could have a great feud together.
Let me see if I can bring this in. I'm going to try a share. Don't know if this will work or not. Oh, never mind. It won't work. I was going to see if I could pull up the screen sharing or not. But yeah, on their roster, I mean, scrolling down here, a lot of people that I think would be cool to see. Jinder Mahal, I could see showing up in TNA, which would be interesting because he just got released from WWE.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like people like that would he be able to keep his persona, or do you have to change his name? Does WWE own his name? Type thing.
I know that's something. Yeah. Because sometimes you'll see, I mean, Mustafa Ali was very much obviously created as that name in WWE from what I remember. I think I don't remember.
Isn't that his real name though?
His real name's Adil Alam.
That's right.
Let's see.
But I think if WWE doesn't own the rights to their name, they're allowed to.
Yeah, he debuted in WWE in the Cruiserweight division as Mustafa Ali. So they would own that name, but he's now using it in TNA.
But couldn't the wrestler themselves trademark it before WWE? And as long as WWE agreed to use it, they could still go use it on independent circuit or another brand at that point.
Yep.
So maybe he did that. I don't know.
We'd have a WWE Jersey Shore crossover with Zach Clayton being in TNA. Oh, shoot me.
Could do Kevin Knight versus Xavier Woods, Kushida against Tozawa. And there's a lot of things that could be done here.
Oh, there's a lot.
As I told you guys before we went on, R-Truth and Joe Hendry, I believe in little Jimmy. We need to get that done.
That would be the greatest thing ever, them together. Big Rosemary fan. Wouldn't mind seeing her pop up. Let's see.
They have a well-rounded women's division over there too.
They really do. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good names here.
Kylie King.
Mickey James, of course. There has to be something there. I mean,
Gail Kim's over there too. She was doing an interview last night.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Gail Kim. Ace Austin, I think has a lot of potential. Would be a cool one to cross over. But yeah, Matt Cardona, I've been saying for years I'd like to see him back. So I think this might open something up there. I think that would be cool.
What about Alpha Bravo? Who does he remind you of? If you look it up there.
It looks like Paul Ellering to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, but he looks like he's pulling off like a Shield type thing with the Alpha Bravo and the vest on.
Yep.
Yeah,
his security persona. Yep.
It looks like a young Paul Ellering. Just Crazy Steve, I like. I've seen some good matches with him.
Oh, no, another thing is do we think you see WWE sign Jake Hager at all, seeing he left AEW?
There's a few people that they're saying are going to be coming back. Jake Hager, Mark Henry.
Arn Anderson, too, they said could be a manager for Cody Rhodes.
Yep, because Cody Rhodes had said in an interview not too long ago that he misses having Arn by his side.
I mean,
Britt Baker.
Britt Baker, I've talked about that one before. I would like to see her over, but mainly because I'd like to see Adam Cole back in WWE. I think one of the main reasons he didn't shine so much was because Vince didn't see him as a big guy.
Yep.
But I've always been an Adam Cole fan. I mean, going back to like Ring of Honor, like definitely one I would like to see come back.
And I heard it's pretty much almost a done deal that Britt Baker is going to be coming to WWE.
Yeah. I mean, I've always liked her. And then on the other side of the coin, there's WWE contracts expiring. I just read that Chad Gables is about to expire. So
yep. Natalia this week, Becky Lynch this week, Chad Gable next week, Dijak within the next month.
Becky Lynch, isn't hers done tonight?
Hers is done. Yeah, she's from what I've read, she's off
midnight tonight. And they removed her from all WWE shows until further notice, I think they said. My guess is they're going to try to do, seeing they've been having a back and forth with AEW on like the two things they've been doing. I bet we'll see her show up at SummerSlam saying, I'm not leaving, just like MJF.
Yeah, there's a couple people that are saying, and even Dave Meltzer, and not a big fan of his, but but he said that she's just planning on taking some time off,
which I could see. I mean, they just had a kid. Like her and Seth worked their butts off.
Seth is injured. They have a kid. You know, she needs to have some time. You know, home. So she hasn't really had much time off since they had the kid.
Yeah, let them take a break. I mean, those two are part of the workhorses that have carried the company the past decade.
They
give them a vacation.
A lot. Seth has been one of the top guys for a long time.
Yeah.
Even as a heel, when he was doing the whole savior of whatever it was, and he had Buddy Murphy with
the Monday Night Messiah.
That's what it was, the Messiah with Buddy Murphy or Buddy Matthews.
Yeah,
at the time. I want to see them come back.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I watch a lot of releases over there, because I mean, Cody coming back to WWE, and probably not the best example because he's ingrained in WWE, but I mean, Cody coming back and becoming the top guy, that's got to tell them something. I mean,
you dropped the ball, Tony.
Look what that says. And then we look at the other side of the coin too. Look at Swerve Strickland. The WWE dropped the ball on him. Huge,
major. Yeah,
it works both ways. Like we talked about on the last episode. And sometimes characters don't work one place, but they work in another place. They don't always cross over.
Yep. So I think some of those would be interesting. I mean, Britt Baker has tremendous presence and personality. I have no doubt she would exceptionally shine in WWE. Like that's a no-brainer.
Her mic skills are on like a level that there's not a lot of women in WWE that have her mic skills.
No, I mean she would be a potential champion like a Rhea Ripley that would carry a title for a long time.
Yep,
that's an easy one.
One interesting thing, I don't know if you guys saw it today, but Gable Stevenson got signed by the Buffalo Bills.
What?
I wonder if that's why WWE let him go.
Yeah, I don't. It's like a tryout thing. I don't know if he's going to make the team, but he has a roster spot until at least first cuts as of right now.
Is he the next Brock Lesnar? Is he trying out like Brock did with the Vikings?
I don't know. I saw it like 10 minutes before we came on today. Someone posted on the sub.
Another example of what we were just talking about was FTR was horribly mishandled in WWE, but have done great in AEW. I would like to see them back. WWE's tag division is getting better, but I could definitely see them making a better run of it.
But they just re-signed last year. So I don't know how long.
One that I don't think would work in WWE, but that I wish would come over so much. One of my favorite wrestlers, and he is the weirdest character.
Danhausen.
Danhausen.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I would just like to have him show up at the Rumble or something and just come out from under the ring and just curse someone. And I don't know.
Our Truth and Danhausen as a tag team. Our Curse.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
Dustin Rhodes, I was hoping was going to come back for to do something with Cody. I mean, he's a big WWE guy. I'm surprised he hasn't yet.
Another one that's expired at midnight tonight too is Scripps.
Oh.
So I don't know what they're going to do with him either.
With AEW, another contract that I heard is expiring by the end of the year. Miro.
Yeah, he was so over when they were doing Rusev Day. Like, that was a major ball drop right there.
And then, they dropped that quick.
That's I think what made me an Aiden English fan. Like, I like the Vaudevillains like somewhat as a tag team, but the stuff he did with Rusev was really cool. The Lana stuff was stupid. It was stupid with Bobby Lashley, but Rusev on his own or the League of Nations. I mean, he's done good work. Keith Lee, I thought we were going to get at some point, but he has so many medical issues. Yeah,
that I don't think he'll ever, truly be a full-time wrestler ever again. And I loved Keith Lee. The program he did with Johnny Gargano, or not Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole.
Like, really good guy.
When he fucking pounced him into the audience, that amazing.
Bit was. I can watch that GIF over and over again.
I can watch that just as much as I could watch from ECW back in the day when Spike Dudley got launched into the front row from the ring.
Yeah,
I can watch those two clips over and over and just crack up.
Oh man, yeah, I love that one.
Another one we could see coming over too, Dustin Rhodes. His contract expires in September.
Oh yeah.
So
maybe him and Arn together come.
Arn and Dustin come over and attack Cody. Let's go.
Oh, what?
Flip the
Samoa
script.
Joe. Samoa Joe's one I'd like back.
Oh yeah,
That's
another huge TNA guy back in the day.
Yep. Him and AJ had some amazing feuds back then.
Yep.
Will Ospreay, I was hoping we were going to get him.
He's one of those guys, though, that's more professional wrestler, less of the entertainment, less of the storyline. He can put on a good match, but not tell a story.
Yeah.
So that's why I think WWE probably, decided not to match what AEW was giving him.
Death Triangle, I'd like.
Yeah, I would die if Penta came over to WWE. He's one of my favorite wrestlers.
What's your opinions on Orange Cassidy?
He's entertaining.
Yeah, he's growing on me, to be honest.
He's entertaining.
Like him. It's just the whole gimmick is getting stale to me.
We had Athena.
Yeah. Not
Jamie Hayter, I'd like to come over.
Yep. Tony Storm.
Yeah.
WWE dropped the ball on her.
Major.
She's doing killer work right now.
Did you see the media scrum thing she read there? And it was titled "A Storm Is Coming." I think that was sort of a shot at Jade Cargill.
Yeah, it was 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good one.
There's so much going on in wrestling right now as far as contracts and free agents and who's doing what and who's going where.
Can't forget KO's up at the end of the year too.
I don't think he'd go anywhere though.
Yeah, I don't see him. I think he's one of the like him and Sammy. I feel like are now really ingrained in that WWE culture. They're not ones I'd see leaving. But then again, I didn't see Daniel Bryan leaving. That was kind of surprising to me too.
Yeah, I didn't see Edge leaving.
No,
that was a shocker.
Because WWE would have given Edge whatever he wanted, so he probably just wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
He's trying to build that legacy up even more, because with what he's doing over there, he's just doing death match after death match over there. Like even on the weekly shows, like for a guy his age, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's at that age, like, we just want to retire and like hang out with our grandkids and stuff. Well, I don't know if he's that old. He's probably like 50 something, I think.
Who, Edge?
Yeah.
50,
I think
he's in his mid-50s.
No, born 1973, 50 years old.
50 years old, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, he's on his end run right now, but I wouldn't want to be doing death matches when I was 50. I can think of a million better things I'd rather be doing.
I mean, look what happened to him at Double or Nothing. Jumped off a cage and broke his foot or his whatever tibia.
That's a rough spot.
Yeah. That was crazy. Because I understand doing that jump if you're doing a splash over him, but intentionally landing on your heels, that's insane. Like that elbow is not going to brace that fall enough. I don't care how much give the ring has. That's not gonna help at all.
And at this point, you got to tell Tony's got to step up at some point and tell these guys, it's like, Edge, you're 50. You can't do the same things you did 30 years ago. You haven't done it in 25.
Yeah.
You know,
you need to chill, bud.
You're gonna hurt yourself. Unless you want to be in a walker forever, you know. I mean, look at Dean Malenko. Like, he did a lot of crazy stuff too. Like, even though he was probably one of the best technical wrestlers ever, he's walking with a walker now.
Yeah. The man of a 1,000 holds.
And Chris Jericho one-upped him. Man of 1,001.
Armbar.
That was... I can't even think about that. That was like the greatest thing ever. Just the list of 1,001 holds. Armbar. Reverse armbar.
He was one of the Jericho, man, one of the greats. He's one I could see coming back at some point too. I mean,
I don't want him to. He's, to me, right now in his career, he is Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, where he's past his prime and needs to hang up.
You know what the list. You know what the best thing would be if he comes over to NXT and does the learning tree gimmick and just starts burying guys over at NXT. Just that disingenuous attitude. Hey guys,
like people they're going to release anyway. I mean, that'd be their send off. Like, hey, we're going to release you, but do you want to get buried by Chris Jericho before you?
You know how many wrestlers would be like, yes, please.
Yeah, sign me up. That's great.
Yep.
Whatever
we're gonna let you go in a month, but we're gonna give you this short month program with Chris Jericho to bury you. You in? Hells yeah.
Yeah, because I can go on from there and do whatever I want at that point.
I'd come in, I'd sign a free NXT deal and just to do that.
This is a moment for learning. Respect your elders.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though if like he came back at the Rumble or something and like Judas played? It'd be like when Cody debuted. I mean, yeah.
I didn't like how they brought Cody back though with surprise guests at WrestleMania. That really spoiled it.
I knew it was going to happen. I wore my Cody shirt to the to WrestleMania.
Yeah, because I was in Dallas. Yep.
Yeah, and I was sitting there with my wife, and whenever they did that spot, and they're like, "Okay, he has a surprise opponent," and the lights went down. I told my wife, I was like, "It's Cody," and then sure enough, everybody knew that was what that was going to be.
Once I heard the doon, I was like, fucking Cody. I was like, they're letting him use his music and everything. The fact when he debuted and they let him use that phrase, wrestling has more than one royal family, because you know that's a dig at the McMahons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Vince let him do that was, I thought, probably one of the best things Vince ever did.
Did you watch the Cody documentary? He said that, or someone was talking, or maybe it was Stone Cold. Somebody was talking like that Vince and someone else actually flew down to talk to Cody, and they said that's like one of the only times they've ever remembered that happening.
I think it was Kevin Owens.
And Cody said that he told Vince straight out that, you know, I built my character for the last 5 years. I've done this on my own, and I don't want to change it. And he said that Vince looked at him and said, your character that you've built is why we're here. We don't want you to change anything.
Yep.
If we ever see Cody turn heel, what I want to see is a full heel turn. I want to see him dye his hair back to black if he does a full heel turn, just like how we saw Paul Heyman doing his when Roman was out a few months ago, how he had his hair gray instead of dyeing it.
Yep.
I mean, it's got to happen at some point. I mean, he's not like a John Cena or anything that is so over as a face that everyone just identifies him as a face forever. Heel Cody would be massive.
I think that would be a good thing to bring Arn in, like have Cody doing a story with someone, a program with someone, and have Arn come in at the end of it and interfere and get involved and turn Cody into like Roman was, where Arn's his mouthpiece and Cody just does what he wants.
Yep. Yeah. For those who may not be familiar or didn't watch a lot of his work on the indies, I mean, watch some of his New Japan stuff and whatnot. I mean, when he was heel Cody, like he's better at it than being a face. It seems like he almost struggles to be a good guy to do promos.
When he was the head of the Bullet Club, that was probably some of his better work. And then when he came to Ring of Honor, it was probably some of his better work.
Yeah, because it seems like he tries too hard to be a good guy. So it's almost like that doesn't come naturally to him. So being a heel, I mean, the American Nightmare is not something that exactly screams good guy. It's something that says like, hey, a nightmare is a bad thing.
I think if I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but his character now as a face, and he's like this good guy, but when he cuts his promos and he uses big words and he talks over the audience's head, he comes across like that condescending good guy, like I'm a good guy to you, but I'm really not.
Reminds me a lot of Keith Lee. Keith Lee did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're just looping us in if we pay close attention for a possible heel turn in the future. Because I go back to, I believe it was the Raw After Mania. He told Jay he was going to be his Shield like Seth Rollins, and he just let Jay get beat up. He didn't do nothing about it.
Yep.
So it's little things like that. Because I don't know if you guys saw it, but I saw a picture of it was after War Games in Boston 2 years ago, I believe it was, and they were all acknowledging Roman Reigns putting the ones up, and Solo didn't put it up. So that was even a telltale sign back then that he would turn on him. And now that we see it after the fact, they were laying it out years ahead.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of it, yeah. If you look at like the crowds and stuff now, like there's "We Want Roman" chants and stuff like that. And I've been saying this forever, and I would say I'm probably right. Roman will come back and be a massive face, especially if they do the bloodline storyline right. And I think that's going to be the best way to turn Cody heel is against like a mega face Roman, because Cody can get pissed off like, hey, I've been carrying this. Why don't you guys like me? Like, this isn't fair. Like, it can be done.
I think there's two ways that they could go with it. They could do the Rock versus Cody match where Roman comes back and helps Cody and takes down the Rock to make even Roman a more face, because what's been going on with the Bloodline. Rock could say he's been orchestrating all of that. And then just another way that they could go with Cody too is we need to see the Randy Orton thing while he's still champion. Like we cannot have him drop the belt before we see that. So one of those guys could turn heel. Either one would be a great heel turn in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to see Cody against Orton, I like Orton, and I'm sure 99% of wrestling fans agree that Orton is a natural heel. It has to be Orton against face Cody. Like, to get the best feud out of it, it's got to be that way. That's the most believable.
Lately, though, I've never felt more like Randy as a face is a good idea. Because like even when they were singing his song in Saudi Arabia, when he was on the turnbuckle, you actually saw him smile and acknowledge the crowd, singing his song, and he was like, yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm like, okay, Randy as a face to end his career might be the best thing for him.
The other thing that I was going to say too that I forgot to about Roman with that they could go with, the other thing is they have Roman building up to this to be a face with all the fans saying that we want Roman chants, and then they could just dupe him and have him say he's been telling Solo what to do the whole time to make him an even stronger heel.
Yeah, he comes out during like a Cody and Randy match, and he costs Cody or attacks Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, like KO to me is one that is a better heel. KO has been a face like way too long for me, for my taste.
But he's hilarious though.
He is funny, but I think he'd be funnier as a bad guy. I mean, the stuff he was doing was like Jericho, and I mean, he's so funny as a heel. But yeah, as a face, I liked when he went into Cody's like dressing room. I can't remember. Maybe that was WrestleMania. I can't remember what that was, but he went into Cody's dressing room and like stole a banana or something and left.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
Like when he started doing the like screaming at everyone for no reason, he's like, why is everyone so close to me? Or even the
Elias thing. Oh
yeah.
God, it was so good.
Even the interview after Backlash or during Backlash, when he did that interview with what's her face walking through the streets of France, and he pulled a baguette out of his freaking coat, and she was like, and he starts eating it without even saying, like, not even acknowledging the fact that he did it. She's like, where the heck did you get a baguette? And he's like, oh, I got it back there. And he just keeps eating and then puts it back in his pocket. It's like, really?
Pocket food.
Yeah, pocket food. It's like, come on, bro.
You don't keep food. Yeah, you don't keep food in your pocket, or it's like it's like that episode of Bob's Burger, and Gene had a like cheese in his socks or something. It's like you don't keep cheese in your socks.
Then I think of Dale from King of the Hill.
That's one. I mean, and I wouldn't mind seeing KO feud with Sammy. I mean, I like some of their stuff together. Their programs are pretty good together. Sammy is one that I'm cool with as a face. Like him as a heel was kind of weird to me. I don't know. It was a weird run, like the way they did it. I don't know. It was odd to me. I didn't like it. It was like he was. I kept thinking he was like trying to be Castro, like how he dressed and what he was talking about. Like it seemed like a Castro gimmick. So no, I was not on board for that one.
No, I wasn't either. I was like, what is this? Like the conspiracy theorist, Sammy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one. It makes you wonder who's going to take his belt, though. I mean, he's doing a good job with it, but it definitely makes you curious where that one's going to end up. Like,
I think it's going to be Chad.
I hope. That'd be great.
Chad or Otis.
I mean, and that may be the piece they dangle in front of Chad with his contract coming up is, okay, we'll go ahead and let you have your championship. I would say if Chad stays, then we for sure know he's going to get a championship.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the same situation that we just have with Drew McIntyre, though. Like, they have all this gearing up for the story with the contract coming up. I feel like they definitely know that they're going to be able to re-sign him, or they would not be doing all this without it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Drew will probably dethrone Priest. I think that's probably what that's building to.
Did you see the advertisement for Madison Square Garden?
Oh yeah, with Priest with the title belt. Yeah, that was
Jey Uso. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm
going to be at that show.
They usually say the card is subject to change at the bottom anyway, but
I can tell you, yes, it's happened here. I've been to events here where they advertised a champion and a different person was champion when we got there.
I think they're with Triple H being in charge now. I think you were going to see more of that. Dangle it in front of us, let us think that something's going to happen that's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just perfect timing because they just announced, like you said, Priest at Madison Square Garden as the champion. So we're all expecting him to win. So pull the wool over our eyes, he loses.
And I believe that's a SmackDown there too. We're gonna have the Raw Championship match. You two Raw guys at SmackDown, unless it's a bonus match.
It might be a dark match that they're advertising.
Okay, yeah.
I
missed that.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, because like the bonus matches that I've seen, they usually don't have that much at stake, but I know they've upped the ante in them recently.
Yeah, I think they're probably doing that too because their Raw and SmackDown are so close together that weekend. Damian Priest or SmackDown's in Madison Square Garden, Raw's in Boston.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be there. Why not let Madison Square Garden as one of the biggest venues that WWE does historically year after year? Why not have both champions there? At least have one in a dark match.
Yeah.
And it's Jey Uso as well, who is what's the date on that? That's June 28th.
June 28th.
Yeah. Yep. And Drew even tweeted it out. He said, "This is weird. What the hell?"
I know. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I saw that too. It was like, what are they doing here?
So no doubt a dark match. Yeah.
But we could see CM Punk interfere. He already said at the other promo he will go to across the world to Clash at the Castle to mess with them. So,
yep,
we really Punk is
and he's cleared.
Is he fully cleared now?
I think they said he was.
Nice. Okay.
We're not getting that match till SummerSlam, though. I don't think.
Yeah, they're gonna make us wait for that one.
Yeah. I've seen some people even saying for the Wyatt Six Howdy stable there that it might not even happen till SummerSlam at this point.
They need to pull the trigger on that quick because people are going to stop caring.
I think a lot of people already have, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Like nobody, like I don't see, like when it first started, the subreddit Squared Circle and WWE were both, had multiple threads about what was going on, what they found, all that. Now it's like, a thread has 10 replies for
barely
a week. Yeah, after a week. It's like we're losing.
When they used to pop up, you would get like hundreds of replies and theories and all that. But now people, you get like 2 to 10 replies. People don't, I mean, and it's hard because I was a massive Bray Wyatt fan. I mean, I watched that documentary and I got choked up, and that doesn't happen to me very often, but I got choked up watching that. So, I mean, I was more than enthusiastic about this just to see that legacy carried on. But man, like,
give
us
drawing it out too much.
Look at even, for example, too, the Twitch thing. I believe it was last Thursday, giving out the coordinates. You look at the coordinates, they got like Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr., whatever you want to call him. They got like his hometown on it. They got some very weird locations on that. And I feel like they're just trying to confuse fans even more. So I just don't really know what they're doing on at this point. Like some of the other wrestlers that were in there too were just sort of random that were associated with the coordinates.
Yep.
Yeah, it could just be misdirection at this point. I mean, because most people are not like diving into this. Like when it first started happening, there were several people across WWE and Squared Circle that were diving deep into this, like deep into the metadata, all that. Now it comes out and people are like, well, here's the pictures. Okay, cool. And then go on about your day.
Yep. Here's the link to the video. Here's the hidden stuff. All right, good to go.
Yep, saw it. Cool. Let me know next time something happens, if something actually happens.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too, I talked about maybe having to do with the Judgment Day, how we had Braun Strowman have that BW on his on the tape on his wrist with the puppeteer thing. Maybe he's the puppeteer too, and what I was alluded to last episode.
Oh, that was a B. I thought it was an R.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think maybe it was R. I don't know.
Could have been a B. That makes more sense than an R. What would RW be? But BW.
Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was RW. I don't know.
RW. Rowan Wyatt.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's
it was RW though.
So yeah, there was that one, and then the video game tease. So they're still doing it. Like there's still something going on, but it's not going anywhere. And that's unfortunate because if they had pulled the trigger on this thing like a month after they started doing it, I mean, that's how I would have done it. I would have ran it for a month and then start having people show up on TV in the crowd, small things.
Yep.
Build it up from there.
People are like, it's starting to turn into a Veer is coming thing from years ago.
Yep. And when Veer finally came, it was a dribble. So,
yep. It was like, what is this?
And as anybody could have predicted watching that, it did. Veer went nowhere. Veer came and Veer left.
Yeah.
Veer is coming. Veer is going. He had a round trip ticket.
He did not. He barely had a layover in the company.
Yes. He's here for his layover, and then he's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So the next pay-per-view coming up, we're getting pretty close to. So pretty excited about that one. I don't know. Did you guys think about any picks for Money in the Bank or?
Yeah, I got my matches right here if you want to hear them.
Oh, really? Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up the roster on Wikipedia real quick, and I'll make mine. But what do you have?
For the women's match, I got Katana Chance, Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Charlotte Flair, and Naomi. And then for the men's match, I got Ricochet, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes.
Ooh, nice.
I just took all high flyers out of it. I didn't really have any other approach on that, as you can tell.
Let's see. So if we did 3 from each side, and I had to pull from Raw, I would pull Lyra. I'd pull Ivy Nile because I'm high on Ivy Nile. Probably pull Kiana James. From the SmackDown side, definitely Tiffany Stratton because of how over she is. Probably pull Jade in it because I think she needs a program, and Chelsea Green, with Chelsea Green winning for sure. That would be my pick. From the men's side, I wouldn't mind seeing Braun Breaker, Chad Gable, and Dragunov. And then from the SmackDown side, I think Andrade is a good call. Along with, I think Johnny Gargano would be a good one. And give me a Montez Ford in there. But I'd like to see Dragunov win the match.
I forgot about Montez Ford. I was debating too between Dragunov and putting Bronson Reed in there also. I think he could do some real nice bits too, seeing he's a bigger high flyer.
Yeah.
I was stuck on a lot because there's so many women that I want to see in the match. But realistically, to have a decent match with high flyers and people that have been in the match before, Raw side I had Asuka, Ivy, and Zelina.
I'd love to see Zelina just because I still feel like she hasn't got her due yet.
Yep, and then on the SmackDown side, Tiffy, Jade, and Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then for the men's, for the SmackDown side, Montez, Carmelo, LA Knight. And then on the Raw side, Ilya, throwing Dominic in there just because, I want to see him do a little more. And Sheamus.
Ooh, okay.
Are Asuka and Zelina cleared yet?
Oh shit! Zelina's not.
That's the only thing. I know we still got like a month and some change, but
let's see.
Yeah, hopefully, I'm hoping she gets cleared before then because I would love to see her in there.
Speaking of Zelina too, and I saw last week on the Bump. Is there no episode of the Bump this week? Jenny, you guys notice that?
I didn't see no.
Yeah.
What was Zelina out with?
They took her out of the Queen of the Ring tournament. It might have just been a thing to insert someone else for change of plans. I don't know though.
Yeah, because it says the injury bug strikes again, but they didn't explicitly say how she was injured. So it seems like something they might have just made up. I feel like Zelina though is another one of those missed opportunities. Like if WWE doesn't do anything with her at this point, I'd be like, okay, go somewhere else because like she's great and has a lot of potential. Again, in Puerto Rico, if they weren't going to let her win then, like they're never going to let it happen. So I think she's someone that the ball has been dropped majorly on that I'd love to see something happen with. And one of the reasons I like her so much, I love her costumes. I watch a little bit of anime just mainly because my wife watches a lot of it, but like I see a lot of her stuff and I'm like, hey, I know what that one is. So I like that she brings that in. I think that's kind of cool.
I think you could definitely see her in AEW with Malachi Black being over there. That's just that's a given.
But there's rumors that Malachi wants to come back to WWE though.
His contract's until 2027, I believe. I just had it up here. It's still a ways out. Yeah, hold on.
It's not unheard of to ask for a release though.
Yeah, that's true. You can always force your way out of any contract these days, it looks like.
My more realistic picks for Raw, though, because the picks I had were just something that I wanted to see, but I know we're going to end up probably seeing Chad, Ilya, and after what's been going on, Braun Breaker from the Raw side. Saying and left me out of the King of the Ring. I don't think they're going to leave him out of the Money in the Bank tournament.
My picks are ones I'd like as well, but also a realistic one I think will probably be Jey Uso. Because what else are they going to do with him?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one I could see them throwing in there. Carmelo, though, I mean, that's somebody I could see winning. Like,
Yeah, without a doubt.
do you guys remember in the pandemic era when they did the Money in the Bank match on top of the
Yes.
building?
And Rey Mysterio got thrown off, but then when they showed when they showed the helicopter angle, he went down like 3 feet.
Yeah.
I remember watching that, and we were sitting here watching it. I was like turning it, and I was like, they just murdered him on TV.
Yeah, then they go to the wide angle, and it's like, oh wait, no, they didn't. There's a mat right there on the other side of that wall.
I mean, it was a wild time.
Look at Stone Cold back in the day, ramming no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Stone Cold. It was at Hulk Hogan that rammed the truck into the ambulance that The Rock was in. Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing along the lines, and then we saw last Sunday Jack Perry ramming the bus into Darby Allin. Like, there's a few attempted murders that have been happening.
Yeah, for real. Why aren't these people arrested? If I did that, I'd be in jail.
If I lit someone on fire with a flamethrower, I would not be a free man.
Exactly. Oh, I do got to give the Oscar to Tony Khan during that match, though. His freaking fake rolling down the ramp
and then running.
Hilarious thing ever. You can tell he was forcing himself to do it. I'm like, come on, bro.
It's funny because, you know, back in the day, like anytime there was on-screen persona that worked their way into storylines, it was believable. Like, you know, Vince McMahon storylines, those were believable. When Bischoff or Vince Russo were in a storyline, like, it was believable. But like with Tony Khan, like, I don't buy him as on-screen authority. I don't. He's like a little rich kid that I wouldn't listen to. I mean,
have you been to a live AEW event?
I am going to my first one. They're coming to South Haven, Mississippi. It's like 3 hours from here, so I'm going to be going to that one.
The only time you're going to need earplugs is when Tony Khan comes out before and after Dynamite, because he gets the most high pitch squeal you'll ever hear in your life.
Oh man.
When he gets excited, it's like, oh my God, nails on a chalkboard times 1,000, and you want to run your head into a brick wall.
Yeah, I usually, I mean, I'll go to some if there's like a close by one. I mean, I usually don't make a habit of attending like competitor stuff, but it's a Collision and a Rampage, and Daniel Bryan's being advertised for there, which I think would be cool to see. So,
be prepared to be there till after midnight.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a long night from what I've seen, like with the dark stuff, and
yeah, they have the dark stuff before, just like WWE does. But right after, within 15 minutes, or you'll have Ring of Honor too, recorded most likely before.
Heck yeah!
The Ring of Honor will be the dark matches. Then you'll have Dynamite. You'll have about a 15-minute intermission. They'll switch to Collision or Rampage. They'll record that, and then they'll 15-minute intermission. Then you'll have Collision.
Okay, that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have any WWE events advertised for here like this. I mean, we had a Raw in like January.
Oh my God, we have 3.
What a stadium that was in Little Rock. They had to even change the set. I remember because of the roof size of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have so many coming up here. I'm surprised. Like we have Madison Square Garden, which is 2 hours from my house. I'm going to on the 28th. Then Raw in Boston the 1st. We have SmackDown in Worcester, which is 10 minutes from my house in July, on July 12th. Then in August, I think it is, we have Raw in Providence, which is close, within an hour. So we have so many shows coming.
They have live in New Hampshire, I think, too, in Manchester, I believe.
I love live shows. I mean, a lot of people don't really, I guess, get the point of those or whatever, but like we have those all the time. And I love going to WWE live events, even though they're not televised. Like they are so much fun.
You
like,
get to see the wrestlers' personalities come out a little bit more. Because I was watching clips from one of the live events where they were wrestling, when Seth and Cody was tagging and wrestling Solo, and I think it was Jimmy. And Solo had like hit Seth and Seth goes and tags Cody, and then he goes sits on the steps. He's like, "I'm not doing this shit. It's your turn."
Well, one thing that I've noticed recently too with the house shows, especially if you're a Cody fan, it looks like you're getting better Cody matches at house shows than we are on TV. Because we go back to, I know here at TD Garden at the holiday tour, he had a street fight with, I forget who it was, but we haven't seen Cody in a street fight maybe once.
The one with the Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was a good run when Roman was on TV and he was the champion, that he was wrestling more at house shows than he was wrestling on TV.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's another thing about house shows, is that's a lot of times your best opportunity to meet talent. Most of the superstars we met and got pictures with and stuff after shows is like always at house shows. Like they spend more time at those to say hi to people.
You used to just be able to go to Kowloon here and you could meet him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they don't do that no more.
Nope. I was gonna say, I think Matt Hardy went there with Jimmy Stewart when AEW was here a few years ago.
Had the what's his face's podcast there a couple months ago.
Jimmy Stewart?
No, whose does the wrestling toy podcast?
Oh, Matt Cardona, the Major Brothers, Matt Cardona.
The Major Figure podcast or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They do a live show there like once a year and have some like indie guys go.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I mean, Matt Cardona is probably my one of my top picks to see back in WWE. I was honestly surprised he wasn't in this last Rumble, but he's like one of mine that I'd love to see back, and not doing the woo-woo stuff, like being Matt Cardona. That's how he'd have to.
The fact that we haven't, though, and he even said it, is Chelsea's fault.
Yeah,
because when he left WWE, that whole bet on you stuff that AEW is doing, Matt Cardona started that, because when he left WWE, Chelsea, he said in an interview, Chelsea said, instead of signing somewhere, bet on yourself. Go do indie shows. Go wrestle anywhere. Go wrestle everywhere. And that's what he started doing. And he even said he's making more money now than he did in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, he's the undisputed indie king. I mean, no one's done it like he has.
No.
The ultimate belt collector, even over like Kenny Omega. I mean, there was one picture of him where he showed up at an event and he had like 12 belts on his arms.
Yep.
Like,
from indies, from New Japan, from all Japan, all that stuff. It's he did it the right way.
Oh man, yeah. I would love to see him back though. I mean, with Chelsea in, like, I think it'd be cool. Or if what would be really cool would be if he like interfered to help Chelsea win the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I wouldn't mind that. Just like because he's the king of the indies. Don't even sign him. Just pay him for that one appearance.
Yeah, he just shows up and like helps like push a ladder over or something, and then just walks off.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder. I know you were talking a second ago about having Charlotte in the Money in the Bank match. I've been curious why she's been off TV this long. Like, you got to feel like they want to do something with her. I mean, maybe she's letting other people shine right now, but like, it's weird not having Charlotte on TV.
Now that Becky is most likely gone.
Yeah, because her and Becky, they kind of shine against each other a little bit, so could give her some more presence.
They're going to need that star power.
Charlotte is super sweet, like in person. On TV, I know she's like a massive heel, but I've told this story. I don't know if I told it on here before or not, but there was one event that I went to with my daughter when she was, I don't know, like 6 or 7, and she was a big Naomi fan, but she was like an even bigger Charlotte fan. And we were hanging around after the show, and we were meeting up with some people, and some were signing autographs and taking pictures. And Charlotte came out, and she was getting into her car, and like a bunch of people were waving and stuff and trying to get her to come over. And my daughter turned and was like totally freaking out. I was like, "Oh my God, Charlotte! Hey!" And she was like putting her suitcase in her car, and she was about to leave, and then she stopped and turned around and came back up to the fence, and like, she pulled my daughter over and took a picture with her and signed some stuff. And she was like, "Okay, I'll see you later, Queen." And it was like the sweetest lady. It was so wild because seeing her on TV, I expected her to not be anything like that. But in real life, she's super nice.
I saw that at the WrestleMania World or WWE World at WrestleMania when she was doing the live auction. there was a little girl like sitting in those seats in front of him, and she had had made a Charlotte robe. And in the middle of signing autographs live on Twitch, she like took a break and like acknowledged the girl, talked to her, said, "After I'm done signing, I'm gonna come see you." And afterwards, they went over, met her, pulled her over, took pictures with her, and everything. It was great. You can tell she's super sweet.
Yeah, she is. Becky's the same way too. I mean, we met her once, and she was like really nice.
Oh,
it's crazy. It's so crazy though. I mean, a lot of them you see on TV is just like the meanest heels, and they're like super nice in person. Yeah,
I met Becky a few about back in April. I met her at one of her book signings.
Oh, that's
before
cool.
WrestleMania. Yeah. She was super nice. I got a picture on my Facebook with her, but yeah, she was like super nice. My a friend of mine went with me. She's a huge Becky fan. She had her nails done like the day before. Becky stopped her and was like, and after she took a picture with her, she's like, "Oh my God, let me see your hands." And Becky was like, "I love your nails," and sat there and talked to her. She's like, being a mom, she's like, I miss getting manicures, and like talk to her for a couple minutes. I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. She looks like she's in even better shape now since she had a kid. A lot of women don't bounce back like that after having children, just because it's nature's way. It's a struggle. But she seemed like she hit the ground running when she came back. Like tremendous shape. Did not miss a beat getting back in the ring.
But when you have the money, you can pay for like the best trainer, nutritionists, and
and you can take off and do that. I mean, most women, they have a kid. In this country, most women are back to work within like a few days of having a kid. But like, if you're better off,
from the hospital to the office, I mean,
that's how it was with my daughter when she was born. Like her mom, like we discharged from the hospital. Like 3 days later, she was back to work the next day. No time off. Sorry, back to work. So, I know. Spin off. Did you guys, speaking of our random discussions, you see they're making a sequel to Happy Gilmore?
Yes. I saw Adam Sandler tweeted out, what was it, last week?
When he was teeing off.
Yeah, he was teeing off. He's like, "I haven't done this in 25 years. And I was thinking to myself, shit, I'm old.
I don't know where the ball went, but it looked like a decent drive. But I mean, without I was about to say, Carl Weathers. I'm going to say Apollo. Carl Weathers. Without him, I mean, man, that's going to be rough.
They're going to have to do some kind of tribute to him in the movie. Well, no, he died in the first one.
Yeah.
That's right. So they're not going to have to worry about that, but it's still going to be rough for not having him in the movie.
You know, Shooter McGavin needs the work. I mean, because what has he been doing since then?
Oh, yeah. Shooter.
What's cool though is that it's a later generation now. We're 20 years or whatever down the road. I mean, there's different golf stars that could show up. I mean, imagine Tiger Woods showing up. I mean,
I don't know if we'll get him.
Scotty, we'll see if he's free at that time.
Oh, his charges.
He's got dropped. They could have him show up in a jumpsuit though. Still, that would be funny.
Yeah, that would
I've
be
been
great.
traveling the past few weeks. I've been out of the loop. That's awesome.
It would be great if they did like this clip where Adam Sandler's driving down the road and he's on the side of the road picking up trash in a orange jumpsuit.
You're gonna look at the apology letter that the cop wrote, and what a tool that guy is.
He did.
Read that,
you got to read it. It's amazing. He won't admit that he wasn't dragged and all this other stuff, and he's making Scotty's attorney look like a bad guy, but Scotty's the nicest guy in the world. It's crazy. You got to see it to believe it. People thought it was fake at first.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see that. I see one that he wrote. Okay, I'm gonna have to find that. That's interesting. Well, that's good to hear because I was worried. And then when I heard they didn't have the body cam footage or something, I was like, surely they can't do anything with this now. I mean,
well, they had it. They just deleted it. We have a case going on around here where the same thing's happened right now. That's prevalent in the news.
His body cams are awfully convenient, but they just never seem to work. It's so weird.
They can even do it with ring cameras. It's not just the body ones.
That's a mess.
So you'll see magically the whole neighborhoods is just deleted all of a sudden.
And everybody has a ring camera now. So I mean, I've got like I've got a Ring camera right there, and I've got like 10 cameras around my property. Like everybody's got cameras now.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's nothing that happens out here without me seeing it. So
Yeah.
I think a
Same
lot of it was because I've been watching a lot of Skinwalker Ranch, and
Oh
I've
my
been curious
Jesus.
about stuff that goes on in the skies. I kid you not, I've got 2 things on my camera that are definitely UFOs. So I've been curious about what goes on at night. I fell down the rabbit hole with that show once I found it, and just like went off.
What
the
is
deep
it
end.
on?
I watched it on Hulu.
I think it's on. I think it's on Discovery.
It's on History. It airs on History, but it's
History,
on it's replays on Hulu. Yeah. So I watch it on there because I tried watching that Curse of Oak Island show, and I gave up after a while because it didn't really go anywhere. And so someone suggested trying Skinwalker Ranch, and I checked it out. It's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. I need a break from watching Gordon Ramsay to watch something else. So it's been Skinwalker aside from that. Because the wife, after a while, was like, "Okay, no more Gordon Ramsay." I'm like, "All right, I'll find something else."
I love using the Gordon Ramsay gif with the idiot sandwich all the time.
Yes.
People.
Yep, she puts the bread on the side. What are you? I'm an idiot sandwich.
Yeah.
That's you can use. Yeah, I see that in comment threads on Facebook all the
Yep.
time. It's like the most common thing you can use.
Yep.
So it's Friday. SmackDown's tonight.
Not much announced really yet. Just
Nothing out there?
the crowning of Queen Nia, and they said maybe Cody Rhodes' next opponent. They didn't really even say that. They just showed him beat Logan Paul. So I don't know.
Apparently, Gorillas of Destiny will be making their in-ring debut tonight.
It was
Are they
supposed to
actually
happen
calling
last
them
week.
that?
They're not, probably not, but Tongaloa and Tama Tonga are supposed to take on the Street Profits tonight, which would be pretty interesting.
Oh, so the same match that they were going to do last week, they just moved to this week pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, the Queen of the Ring coronation. Bailey is supposed to be there for something.
Probably Piper. Well, that's and I would know.
Yep.
Seems to be something set up with Piper Niven tonight with Bailey. Coronation. That would be a good opportunity for Charlotte to come back, is when they're crowning Nia Queen of the Ring. I mean, if you're going to have Charlotte come back, why not come back for that?
Yeah. I was surprised they didn't bring Charlotte back in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah.
But
well, even back to the Battle Royale, you thought when you thought, Chad, she was going to come back then, that would have been a golden opportunity right there.
Yep.
Yeah, tonight they're going to announce Piper versus Bailey at Clash of the Castle because Piper's from the UK.
Interesting. What so do y'all think Chelsea has a chance this year to get a championship? Did you see it?
I think if they finally announce a mid-card women's title, she's going to be the first one to hold it.
She could go sneak down and win the North American Women's Championship too, because she's doing the cross thing with NXT. So
I see her holding the title by the end of the year.
God, I hope so.
I just hope it's not the tag.
Yeah, she's got to get something else. I'm excited to wrap up this week because I think this was a really cool week. I mean, Raw was really good, but I mean NXT just. I'm excited to talk about it. One of the best shows I've seen in a while. Like, just made me feel like 90s WCW. Just you didn't know what to expect. The ending, I mean, is everything about that. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. It's already happened, but I mean, seeing Ethan Page show up, that was fantastic. I really cannot wait to see what they do with that. A major ball dropped.
Did you ever watch him in AEW? Mm-hmm. Already in that 30 seconds that he came in the ring and attacked Trick and all that stuff, I see them already doing more with him than AEW did. He already looks better on screen than he did in AEW.
Yeah.
My question is too, what are they going to do with Noam Dar out of all this too?
I don't know, man.
That was just a
like,
weird wrench to throw in the storyline. Like, I understand it set up the the debut of him, but it's just weird because they had a good thing
you know,
going there with the Lash Legend thing and everything else.
honestly, when I was watching that, what I felt like they were probably not writing that storyline for it to be Ethan Page. It was probably going to be someone else, but his contract came up. He was going somewhere else. Rumors were that he was coming to WWE, and they wanted to shoehorn him in somewhere, and that's the way to do it. I mean, it seems like something just probably changed, and they wrote him into a storyline. I mean, that's just my guess.
Mm.
That's what I'm thinking too. They just needed something to get him on TV as quick as possible.
It is interesting to see how some of their talent that comes over from AEW that they put in NXT, Lexus King, and some they move straight to main roster like Jade. I mean, it's interesting that some go to different places. I mean, I could have seen him showing up on the main roster. Just he's one of those guys that just has that it factor. But
they're burying him right now. They just had Dante Chen beat him 2 weeks in a row.
God, it's like, what are they doing? And I don't even get Dante Chen. Like, he's talented, but like he's never going to be a megastar. Like,
they're trying to push him because he's the first Singaporean WWE star. They might have a show going over there eventually that they want to use him at or something like that.
Yeah, it's been wild seeing his push. I mean, I don't know. He's talented, but like I don't see him as like a main roster like superstar someday. Just I don't see it. There's some that just you can see it. There's some you just can't.
Mm.
It's like Josh Briggs. I like Josh Briggs a lot, but I don't see him being a main roster superstar. And I know this is one thing that we were going to talk about that we had on our list to do one day is to go down the list and see who we think could translate well. But Josh Briggs is one of those that I don't see it. I don't know.
Well, the
promo during NXT was good. Like I like that, but I don't see him going anywhere. I don't know.
They took him out of that North American championship run pretty much too, because isn't it Joe Coffey Wesley against Obafemi now, if I remember correctly?
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't see Obafemi losing it. Honestly, I mean, I like him as champ. He's a dominant dude. Like, let him have it for a while.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be losing it either.
Yeah, give him a little feud with Wesley for a little bit. Like, but I mean, I'm good with that. That's all we need for now. So the next pay-per-view will be pretty interesting. I'm really excited to see the women's match, and there's some great matches being built up. Honestly, if I had time, I was thinking about trying to get out there for it. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's going to be a really good pay-per-view.
It's on a Sunday too, which I found weird. They haven't had anything on a Sunday like other than the 2 nights events for a while, I believe. Correct?
Yeah. It's mostly been Saturday stuff.
Yeah, they're going to be moving WWE pay-per-views back to Sundays because from what Dana White said about a month and a half ago at a UFC event, that they're going to start doing weekend events. Power Slap on Fridays, UFC on Sunday or Saturdays, and the WWE pay-per-views on Sundays, all from the same general locations.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That would be pretty cool.
I like Sunday.
Or throwing SmackDown.
Yeah, I like Sunday nights better too, because other than football season, there's usually nothing to watch on Sundays either, unless you want to watch documentaries or rivals.
Yep.
It's like The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers is about it on Sunday nights, or like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, and then you watch the AEW Superstars freaking A&E stuff on Hulu or A&E's app or whatever.
Yeah, that's about it. So Sunday nights are kind of dull. During the week, I mean, it's crazy we live in a time that there's wrestling on like every night.
It really is every night. Monday Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday AEW, Thursday TNA, Friday
SmackDown
and Rampage, Saturday Collision,
and then Sunday the bio stuff.
Yep. You can find wrestling every day of the week. Yep.
Yeah, it's a fun time. I remember it used to just be you'd have well, for me it was Nitro and Thunder. I mean, that was about it. Or you had Raw and SmackDown, and generally the same nights. So it's really interesting. And another thing before we wrap up, now that we're on the subject of crossovers, again, NXT is moving to the CW. So also where the NWA is. So now that we're more open to TNA crossovers, TNA is also embedded with NWA. It originally started as NWA TNA. So, I mean, there's still stuff we could see there. I mean, a lot of disallowed entrances that I think people can go in and out of.
And we've seen networks actually get involved in who they want to see on WWE's programming. Like when Fox signed, they wanted to have Roman on SmackDown, not on Raw. So when they did the draft, they drafted him over because that's what Fox wanted. And if CW says, hey, you know, we have NWA and we have you guys, WWE over here, let's get your guys cross promoting to make sure ratings for both shows are good, because NWA doesn't have the best ratings and WWE can help them out.
Yeah, while we're on that subject, how do we feel about USA cutting us off Monday night?
Oh God,
I've had it with them, man. I can't wait till it goes to Netflix. It's crazy.
Like literally the biggest moment in the biggest moment of the story, and you freaking botch it.
Yeah,
it makes you wonder though, if I mean, even with Netflix, if they're gonna cut the show off at the end, like, you know, just for like dramatic effect, because back in the day that was the big thing. Anytime I know WCW was huge on it. Anytime a big storyline would happen at the end, it was always like, and we're out of time, we got to get out of here, stuff like that. I mean, and you didn't, you know, well, we had the internet back then, but it wasn't like it is now where you could go I'm just gonna go to Twitter and see what happened afterwards. You didn't know until next week. So it makes you wonder if Netflix is going to do a similar model, because you don't have to go off the air. You can go as late as you want.
That was the biggest moment. I mean, even WCW back in the day on Nitro, when like the NWO would come in and you would see everyone fighting, or somebody would come in and like turn on WCW and become part of the NWO, you know, at least they showed it, and then they would leave after, they would go off air after they showed the big moment, and be like, now you got to tune in next week to see what happens.
Yeah, you'd have like you know, like Lex Luger standing over Sting or something like that, and then you'd close out. You saw the moment, then you close out, or everybody would just start fighting, and then they'd close out at that.
The other thing with
done that. Oh, go ahead.
The other thing with Netflix too is I'm not convinced that it's not going to be a PG show yet. That's still a very prominent thing on the website. If you look, that it's a company policy to keep it a PG rating. So I really am going to have to believe to see it that they're going to go to a TV-14 rating, like, because I know they're not going to go to a mature adult rating with it. I don't expect them to, but just to even see it go to TV-14, I'm going to have to believe that to see it.
And I think a lot of that is probably the business model, is to differentiate themselves from like AEW, for example, because AEW is very vulgar. So WWE probably has to present themselves as an alternative to that. So I think in a way they'll probably try to walk that line. Like, they'll get on there and they'll say like bitch here and there, but they're not going to be on there dropping F-bombs and all that stuff. It's not going to be
like MJF did a Double or Nothing.
That's the thing too. They don't like in WWE. They don't have that freedom that AEW has, because that's a pay-per-view event. When we're on Peacock, even though it's a streaming service, that's not pay-per-view. They don't have that same opportunity. And,
but they never even dropped bombs when they were on pay-per-view either. Even though it was payper-view, they still never did.
Yeah,
not lately, no. Yeah,
but we've gotten to the point where we got to the point even where holy shit gets blacked out by the audience. Like that's I know. That's just forcing the envelope a little too much. Personally,
it's always so funny when they try to bleep it out, but they can't get the cadence of the audience right, and then they'll bleep out like holy, but leave the other part.
Yeah.
But like, what was it on Monday night when somebody was chanting you, when everyone was chanting you fucked up?
Yeah.
Like I hate that. And I hope they don't do that on Netflix, because I hate that it takes away from the promo sometimes.
Yeah. Like during the Cody and Logan Paul promo, I mean, they were bleeping out while they were talking, and I'm like, what?
Yep. The same thing with it cuts out the commentary during the match if they're chanting like that.
Yeah. And it'll show it if you watch Raw Talk after. We'll hear what the audience is saying during that, but we can't do it during the show. What's the difference? It's still going to have the same rating.
Exactly.
Yep. Did you
I'm
guys?
so
Speaking of that, did you see when Braun Breaker was going up with Adam Pearce, the old guy in the crowd? He's like, "Spear him, spear him."
Yeah. I loved everyone posting the different angles from him crawling to the ring. That was great. He was crawling through the audience.
Oh man, that was. I loved that. I saw that video yesterday morning, and he was just like very slow and like, and then crawl, and then
Yeah, he is so damn fast.
Yeah, I love when he runs the ropes and does his spear. Like that dude is so freaking quick. He's so good.
He doesn't do it at 23 miles an hour like they think he does.
I can't wait to see what they do with him. Like he's one of my favorite new talents. I was a huge Steiner Brothers mark growing up. Like one of the reasons I wore a leather jacket in middle school was because of the NWO, yeah, but also because of Rick Steiner. Like that was just a cool look back then. So I'm really excited to see what they do with him. I mean, another thing, the Steiners also inbred with part of TNA as well. I mean, Scott did a lot of great work in TNA, so something that I think would be cool as well to see is more of that crossover.
Scott Steiner doesn't know how to math in TNA.
Because then technically Steiner math could become WWE canon.
Yes. 100% Steiner math.
And they allude to it. I mean, they did on Raw a couple weeks ago. Like I'm so ready for more references to that. I mean, it's great. I know on WWE Most Wanted Treasures, like a few weeks ago, they did an episode with the Steiners and they bought the chainmail.
Yep.
I would love Braun Breaker to show up on a pay-per-view with the chainmail because WWE owns it now.
There was no way he wasn't showing up to that show with it being in Georgia.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I hope they do something with him, though.
Somebody created a website, genius.com/Scott Steiner math. Annotated. And it's that whole freaking
oh my
promo.
What?
The three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning, but I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt knows he can't beat me and he's not even going to try.
Again, another awesome thing from TNA was Steiner math. That's where that came from.
You take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance, and you got 8 1/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. Holy shit.
You take his 75% chance of winning, and one-on-one, you add the 66 2/3%, 141 2/3 chance of winning. I like those odds.
Joe, the numbers don't lie, and that spells disaster for you at Sacrifice. That was
And that was an awful stuff. I mean, that was one of the greatest promos of all time.
That was so great. I remember watching it and like scratching my head like, the hell is that?
But also, I mean, yeah, that was another one that involved Samoa Joe, a big part of TNA. So you go back and watch those matches, some good stuff. Like those guys in that run, I mean, were really good. And even like, you know, after WCW, even in WCW, I felt like Hogan, Hall, and Nash were I mean, Hall and Nash were still in that period where they were still, you know, pretty good and they could have a good run. Hogan was too old. In TNA, I probably felt like Hogan, Hall, and Nash were too old for what they were doing, but it was still a good run they did with all that.
If we would have seen some of the stuff in TNA in like WWE or even WCW back in the day, like Bubba Ray Dudley with the Aces and Eights faction and things like that. Aces and Eights in WWE probably would have been one of the better factions of all time.
So. Yeah.
Yep. More people would have seen it. More people would have known what it was. And because that was probably one of that rival to me, NWO, because you didn't know who was going to join him next.
Yeah. It was very unpredictable. Yep.
So if they had TNA in WWE, it would have been completely different. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing is TNA is going to start picking up because they have that affiliation now.
Or a TNA invasion angle, maybe.
Oh God. Oh God.
I honestly hope that they just elevate the whole brand up, because I really didn't watch TNA until the past month before,
Yeah.
before since I was a young kid back in like 2010, 2008, 2009, like back then. So to see TNA back then and now, it's just two completely different worlds. I would love to see it get propped up again, like even if it includes WWE just buying it entirely to make it another brand, or like how they can incorporate it with NXT. I would love to see it personally.
Yeah. That's what I'm excited about signing up for the membership, is I'm going to be going back. I honestly thought, I don't know if you guys have done this or not, but I rewatched a lot of TV shows, and I recently did, I did the Attitude Era, and I did the Monday Night Wars with WCW, WWE, and the pay-per-views. And that's what I'm going to do now with TNA, is I'm going to go back and do a rewatch from probably 02 for, I mean, maybe probably 02 forward, to be all encompassing. The last few years have been kind of blah, but I mean, at least through early 2020. So I would definitely encourage people to do that. It's a good watch. And a lot of the stars that you know and love today, you get to watch them in their infancy. It's like watching old Degrassi. I mean, seeing like early stuff.
Some of them in their prime too, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially AJ Styles, best example.
Yeah, I got a question for you about is Explosion exclusively on that on the streaming service? Because I was looking for it on my TV and I couldn't really find it, because I can get on Access TV Impact, but I was curious about Explosion.
There's something that's exclusive to the streaming service, because I remember I saw it today when I was looking at their plans. That may have been what it was. Yeah, and their streaming service isn't that bad. I mean, it's $10 a month.
$10 a month, dude. It's like buying Peacock.
Library. Yeah. So you get all that stuff, which again, part of them working together, long-term plan would be really cool to have WWE and TNA work together, but not just that, but off of Endeavor Streaming to have a WWE TNA platform. No, WWE UFC TNA platform. I would pay, no lie, probably $30 a month for that. If I got all the WWE, UFC, and TNA stuff, I would pay for that pretty handsomely.
Well, it's a better deal than what they do for Nessun 360 here for $30 a month. I'd much rather buy that than that.
Is that a local thing?
Yeah, to get the Red Sox and Bruins games, it's $30 a month if you want their streaming service for 4K. It's a terrible product.
People pay to watch the Sox. I mean, you get the Bruins, I guess, so it's okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I have my ex-girlfriend's login for Spectrum, so I use that and I can stream the Bruins games.
I was gonna say, Stream East.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, a lot of streaming platforms are merging now, like Disney and Hulu, Max, and they merged with someone.
Cinemax and HBO.
Cinemax and HBO Max.
Yeah, because it used to be HBO Max.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd like to see it could easily be done. So I mean, WWE, they have a major opportunity with TNA, and they got the money. TNA's got to be worth like $8 at this point. So I mean,
we got the 20th anniversary show next Thursday too. So I wonder if some legends will show up from WWE and that.
And now, it's more open now, so they easily could. And some of them have definitely expressed interest. So, AJ would in a second, because, he is TNA. Like AJ, they would love that.
I would love to see him go back and make one final run in TNA.
Yeah. I hope that there's more stuff going on there. I'm really excited about it. This is such an exciting time in wrestling. The Monday Night Wars were cool, really good. But now, it is a really exciting time to be a fan, I think.
Without a doubt.
More than we've seen in recent memory. And like I've said before, NXT still top marks, best show. Yep. So with that, we'll probably wrap up and be back here in a few days to do our weekly recap. We got SmackDown tonight and no pay-per-views, and then catch up on main event and level up. I don't think there was speed this week, was there?
Yeah, there was.
Did they start a new tournament?
Yeah, it's who was it this week? It was next week. I know it was Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and Andrade next week, and then
nice.
Who did we have this week? Hold on, let me look. I got it on my phone right here. I got the
Okay,
notes
I'm gonna have to
on
go
it.
back and rewatch that. Ricochet's about to be like a 47-time speed champion.
Yeah.
And they still don't have him show up on TV with the belts.
Nope. Hold on, I got this
Which
right
is
here.
sad.
It's such a shame.
Oh, while you're looking up that real quick, I don't know if you guys saw a couple days ago, there's speculation that Roman Reigns' movie is going to end up filming like this week, and that he might be coming back sooner than SummerSlam.
I mean, I expect it. You know, for the longest time, I felt like he needed a vacation, but I mean, I think the fans, like their reaction, they want him back.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We had Triple H versus Ludwig Kaiser this week.
Wait, what?
You didn't get the joke. I said Triple H versus Ludwig Kaiser. Tommaso
Ciampa.
Oh, okay.
From Regeneration X.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
As soon as you said it, I was like, yep. That's awesome.
I got lost there for a second. I was like, come on.
You can never forget about Regeneration X.
But no, I think I've said this even on the sub after WrestleMania. I think he's going to be back right after Money in the Bank for a run up to SummerSlam. They're not going to.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they pull the plug on an Orton feud soon, the Roman feud's inevitable. How many times did Roman and Brock leave and come back and feud and refeud and all that? I mean, Cody and Roman is going to be the next Roman and Brock. And he's going to be super over when he comes back. So I think it's inevitable.
Yep.
And then imagine what they do with him after that.
But are they going to feud him with Cody, or are they going to do something with the bloodline?
Yeah.
And do like that Civil War thing. So they have a couple options, but we'll see.
Yeah, the bloodline story is they need to start doing something with it. It's not to Veer is coming levels yet, but it definitely needs to kick off. There's a lot of guys coming in, so they definitely need to keep building that, because for a while that was the most interesting story in wrestling. So I'm ready to see that grow.
I think they're going to give Cody. We'll see which way it goes and how the executives in WWE feel about how Cody's carrying the company.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not doing good by SummerSlam, he's losing the title.
I mean, metrics are good. Merch sales are really good. I know that's one of the metrics they look at, and he's selling really well. So I mean,
the thing they got to remember too is viewer ratings are always going to go down after WrestleMania. I don't care who is champion, especially with The Rock not showing up anymore. So you can't really factor that into the run yet. But regardless of what the numbers are, I'm all set on a long-term championship reign from anyone. Nothing against him, but.
And plus, I mean, you look at now, the 17 people that still watch TNA are about to start watching WWE. So there will be a boost.
Yep.
No shot to TNA. I know they're doing their best. They've had a rough run.
Hey, I'm surprised they're still around.
Right? It's like when you drive by that mom and pop restaurant in your town that you haven't eaten at in like 10 years and you're like, they're still here?
Once TNA went and they were doing Impact on the Travel Channel, I was like, what the hell? They're going to be gone in a month.
Access speed better. Like, I have to go up to the 1600s to get that channel on my TV.
Jesus.
But at least they're not sandwiched between video or shows about the Caribbean and, like Destination Wedding.
I think they got bare knuckle boxing on after it to try to get the viewership in.
Did you guys see
after?
Did y'all see that Soft Ground Championship Wrestling has a belt now?
Who?
No.
Soft Ground Wrestling has a championship belt now. It looks a lot like the old WWE belt. Yeah.
What is?
Are you not familiar with Soft Ground Wrestling? It is the best thing right now.
Oh, in Uganda?
Yeah.
I didn't realize what it was called. I just called it the Ugandan wrestling guys.
They have a championship belt now. They even had a white dude come and compete from like another promotion.
Because when Mansoor and what's his face went down there, they started a donation thing for him and raised a shit ton of money for him.
Yeah. That's a promotion to keep your eye on right there. I love their stuff. Anytime a video pops up, I never skip it. Like, I love what they're doing. It reminds me of the crap that my friends and I used to do when we were kids, wrestling in our backyard. It's the exact same thing.
Didn't they just get donated a ring too?
Oh, I hope not. I want to see mud wrestling. I mean, put the mud in the ring maybe would be cool.
You can use the ring for practice and just broadcast on the mud.
Yeah, I know you're wrestling in the mud and you have the ring in the background and people are like, why aren't you using this?
Jordan Grace and Will Ospreay reached out to see about getting them a ring.
Oh, man.
Will Ospreay donated, they had a GoFundMe. Will Ospreay donated $2,000 to him.
Oh, man. Their belt, though, looks a lot like old WWE belts. Like, I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait to see. If they have a pay-per-view, I'll pay the $50 for it.
Oh, I'll pay $100 to see it.
Yeah, like, no lie. I'll pay. I haven't ordered a pay-per-view since, I mean, I still buy the UFC ones, but like wrestling pay-per-views, I haven't ordered in forever. I will still pay for one of those.
I was going to say, after this is over, we got to show you shouldn't be paying for any of those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, on that note, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye. See you later. Bye.